Hey everyone, it's Sarah here, and today I have something to talk to you about when it comes to your presence and your ability to really serve at the highest level. And marketing and sales is not what we're going to be talking about. So let me give you a little context so that you understand why this message and what is the framework for it and what to expect. So if you are anything like me, then you're probably receiving several emails every day from people that you follow, from your colleagues, from friends, and also from people that you are interested in supporting and working with. And what better way to understand who they really are, what their thought process is, and the whole energy behind than to receive their mailers. So there was a person that I just got off the call with the other day that I reached out because of one of those emails that I sent out. Now, this person I've known for years, and what I've known about them is they're super confident, they're funny as heck, and savvy business owners. And what surprised me in the emails that I started to receive from them is that there was none of those traces in any of those emails. So of course I was like, listen, we need to talk. I was like, I don't know what's going on in your life right now, but I can tell that you're struggling with getting the right clients. I can tell that you're struggling with serving them at the level that you really need to be or want to serve them. And with that, I can tell that you're really struggling getting the results that you have set out to achieve. And they are really intrigued. They thought that what it was like they just needed to tweak a message, right? Yes, I know, I'm just working on the wording, trying to find the right words, and I'm here to tell you, if this is what you're experiencing, if you're experiencing in your business, let's say because you have gotten to the point where you are, you know how to sell, you sold before, you know how to market, you marketed before, but what is happening right now is that where you are right now no longer is enough. It's calling you to up level, it's calling you to the next level, but in the meantime you have bought into this notion, into this lie, that in order to get to more flexibility, simplicity, more freedom, you need to work even harder. You need to amp up your marketing, you need to sell more. But the reality is it's hurting you because it's keeping you in the same cycle. In fact, it's even deepening the cycle. And let me explain. So if you already are busy serving your community, serving your clients, serving your groups and masterminds, just imagine adding, doubling the amount of work. And if you think, well, it's okay, then I'll just outsource and I'll bring a team on board. Unless you know exactly what you're doing and unless you have this authority and clarity, that's going to create yet another layer for you to deal with, another layer of complexities, another layer of headaches, another layer of expenses. I'm not here to scare you, by the way, because yes, having a team and having a system and processes is integral part of growth and scaling your business, but it has to be done right and it has to be done with the right intention. So let's go back to the intentions. When you look at the landscape of your business, when you look at the people who are coming in, when you look at how you're serving them, and when you look at how you're showing up, chances are that what you're doing is not what you really, really want to do. And chances are that how you're showing up is not really fully who you truly are. That's where the disconnect happens. Knowing who you are as a person, free of generational and cultural patterns, programming, fears. Now, hear me out. Fears will always be present. How you dance with them will set you apart. Free of all of that clutter, free of all of those distractions. It creates a whole new perception. It opens up a whole new level of possibilities for you to play at. It creates a whole new level for you to step on and serve from that level. But what is going to happen is that once you make the transition, or even when you are in that transition, you will notice that little things make a huge difference in who is now being called in your circles and what is it people are coming for you for. And that can be a very clear symptom, right, to an amateur eye to, oh, you just need to crank up your marketing, you just need to tweak your marketing a little bit. It has nothing to do with the marketing. Before you first and foremost figure out and reframe, rebuild, recreate, reconstruct, redefine, whatever it is, whatever it takes, what is it you're really doing? How are you even doing it? Who are you doing it for? With what intentions? What purpose? What are the outcomes? And what version of you is even going to be showing up to facilitate that? Because unless you are in your knowing, 100% sure, clear, when you can put your foot down and say, this is my genius, this is my brilliance, this is what I do, this is the magic that I add, this is what we activate in synchronicity with my clients that is unique to each and every one of them, and this is the standard system, formula, process, whatever it is, steps that I need to take them through in order to create the desired outcome. Unless that happens, everything is just like throwing darts at the wall, and everything else becomes just like putting gasoline in your diesel tank. It's not going to work. It's gonna cost you. It's gonna cost you in time. It's gonna cost you in energy. It's gonna cost you in your sanity. And if you're bringing team on board at the time when you're utterly confused, just imagine how confused your team will be. And then to make things even more complex, because life is pretty complex, especially when you're a person of high integrity, when you're a person with high achieving, very driven, highly intelligent mind, all of those things play together. It's like a blanket woven with all of those different threads, right? You cut one and you're going to create a hole in the whole blanket. When you are experiencing that all of a sudden your team is flaking out on you, people showing up and say, well, I would love to work with you, but I have to think about it, or I can't afford it, or they say yes, but then they disappear. Yes, look in the mirror and be very honest with yourself. Where is that you're doing the same thing for yourself? It's going to be a painful process to discover. It's going to require a lot of guts for you to look yourself in the mirror, straight in the eyes, and be honest with yourself. Say, yeah, this is true. This is where I'm cutting corners. This is where I'm not honoring myself. This is where I'm not showing up. This is where I don't follow through. But then here is where emotional maturity comes in. You don't go into the guilt and shaming of yourself and shooting and cutting and wooding and the whole 9 yards, because it doesn't serve you. It just creates a worse circus that you already have trying to maintain and manage and improve. Instead, you show yourself compassion. You are kind to yourself. You give yourself a chance. You give yourself a space to really process things. Take them apart. Be curious about them. Take a deeper look. Take a different angle, right? Ask different questions. That in itself, ask a different question. You don't like the answer, ask a different question. And do yourself a favor. Don't try to do this on your own, because just like you can't operate on your own brain, it's the same thing. You can only take yourself this far, right? And you can see your own blind spots. And if nothing else, when you work with somebody who not necessarily has been where is it you are or where is it you're going, but somebody who really has a deeper understanding of the whole process, things that to an average person would be like an obstacle or a clear wall, a sign that this really isn't for you, go change, find a different route, to an expert who really gets you, who really connects with you, who really puts effort and energy into understanding where you're coming from and where you're going on a deepest level possible. It's just going to be one of those secret walls, right? Like, those movies when you have pull a secret book and then the doors open in a wall that you don't even know it's there. That's what it is. That's what this journey entails. And I can tell you how exciting it is that when you find yourself again, and by the way, this is an ongoing process, it's never done. But when you find yourself again, and when you feel confident, and when you find the thing that really brings up the best that you get to offer, which is combined genius and purpose, your spirituality, the wealth consciousness, all of it, you beam like a whole different person. You vibrate at a whole different level. Your thought process engages you in a whole different emotional responses, and it creates whole different actions that now create whole different habits and create all different results on a physical, very practical level, as well as quantum physics, right? And law of attraction and abundance and the whole 9 yards. It's really amazing what a simple thought process can do. But you can't have this thought process, you can't have the space that is required for you to be able to be with yourself, go through this, process it all, appreciate it all, unpack it all, reframe it all, when you are in a survival mode, when you are just trying to get through the day, when you are just trying to get to that next cell, thinking that that next cell is gonna solve all your problems. It's never gonna happen. Or if it is, it's gonna come at a high cost. It could be agonizing, it could be a painful client, it could be something that drains you entirely. Now, I'm not here to scare you. It's not my intention to play with your fears, because we all know fears are fake and they're not productive way of getting you to the place where you feel called to be. But I am here to hold up a mirror. I am here to call out things that others are afraid to address because they are gonna make you uncomfortable. Because here's the thing, comfort is the enemy of the progress. So with that being said, it's key component of your growth and evolution and ultimate success is to be uncomfortable. Go through those doors, leave the baggage that no longer fits, things that no longer serve you, things that no longer support you. Let go of them. But in order to recognize them, you need to be willing and able and ready to look in the mirror and be really true and honest and uncomfortable with what is going on. So, interestingly, you know, as much as we read and are bombarded from all sides about sales and marketing, sales and marketing are almost like the final acts to really bring it all together and into the world. But before you can put something out into the world, you have to ripen it with yourself first. And this ripening process, it can be time consuming, it can be agonizing, it can be frustrating. It can fill you with doubt, it can fill you with fear. Because frankly, it's something that you haven't done before. It's something that is going to change your life. It's something that perhaps you haven't even seen somebody else attempt and it didn't work out. And now you have this story of possible failure. And it's on you to detach yourself from all of that. And the only thing that you continuously focus on is that vision, it's the faith, and it's the knowing that it is already within you, already within the reach, already available to you. Just because you have the vision of it, you have the capacity to make it happen. But having the capacity to make it happen does not mean sitting down and journaling and singing Kumbaya for the whole day. It requires work. It requires you to show up. It requires you to do things that are uncomfortable. It requires you to shift your vibration. It requires you to let go of anything and everything that no longer supports you, as painful as it sounds. And again, it's something that you cannot, as much as you can try, it's not something that you can do on your own. unless you're willing to invest 10, 15 years in the process to create something that could be done in a week with the proper support. It's up to you. So when you're looking around, and when you look into your business, and when you look into your life, and when you look into the obstacles that you're facing, don't take them at a face value. Don't settle for the symptoms. Take the time and make the effort to really go deeper. Be curious. Turn those stones around. See what they're made of. See what's hiding behind and underneath them. And then keep going. Because every level that you're going to, unless a problem is being solved, unless the wound is being healed, it's gonna hit you over and over and over again. Only that at the every higher level, the consequences of ignoring that problem are going to be more costly. They're going to be more painful. They're going to have greater consequences. And there's going to be more at risk. That's just how it goes. So you first and foremost have to be willing and ready and able to take the responsibility, radical responsibility, for yourself, for your thoughts, for your emotions, for your actions, for your habits, for your results. And in the meantime, master the art of surrendering and receiving and being open to that flow, which is very, very feminine, quite opposite from what you, high achiever, have been exposed to and allowed to experience and trained in. I used to be an athlete and a high achiever myself. I know the struggle and push and pull between the masculine and feminine energies, and creating the same outcome with two very different approaches. One is gonna send you to the ER, and the other one is gonna be like a walk in the park. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I do hope this shines a different light on what is it you might be going through. And again, don't settle for the most obvious answers, because the most obvious answers are very rarely what is it you really are looking for and what you really need at that level, because you're not a beginner anymore. Things that work for others no longer work for you. It's time to forge your own path. It's time to let go of old stories and excuses and perceptions and convictions. That does take guts. It takes bravery. It takes perseverance. I know you have it, otherwise you wouldn't be sitting here right now watching this video. So if you have questions, if you need my support, let me know. It's what I do. One of the things that I do with my clients, actually. And then let's see what you can create, because from where I stand and from where I see it, where you are right now is just the beginning. And so much more is possible for you that I can't even begin to describe. So don't settle, okay? Talk to you later.